I want to ask you both because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you
Not
bracing
the gayest
yourself?
Star Wars. Not the...
It's pretty gay, let's be honest.
That is why you fail.
Star Wars Acolyte can be summed up as waiting in line at the DMV. Acolyte is a rough watch with predictable story beats and wooden acting, fit for a drama student who uses their sexuality as their muse to create self-aggrandized crap. The Acolyte has succeeded in killing the dream, quotation marks.
An acolyte kills the dream.
With a multi-million-dollar budget and digital film grain to boot, only solidifying how soulless this is. When Leslie Headland pitched the show as Frozen meets Kill Bill, she wasn't lying. Regrettably for her, this show will not receive the same cult following as either property it's mimicking. If anything, this will become another one in a long line of forgettable Disney Star Wars installments that we will all memory hole out of sheer apathy. And then the media will cry, racism, bigotry, till the next big multi-million-dollar pile of slop is thrown into everyone's trough and the process repeats itself. Star Wars is dead. Kathleen Kennedy's gonna be fired any day now. And then we lose 10 more years of our lives in the never-ending struggle in this culture war. Anyway, the TV show is loaded with martial arts movements that would make any fan of the Shaw Brothers movies vomit in their mouth and puke out their nose. I'm sorry, but the fight scene between the Acolyte and the old white woman went on just long enough for me to question what was I even here for, just to suffer? The show has a ridiculous twin sisters plotline because Leslie Headland lacked the ovaries to make the minority lead an actual full-on villain. Guess we gotta make the Jedi slight the woman of color for her murders to be justified, combating systematic oppression in a galaxy far, far away. I know one of the major tenets of writing is, write what you know. But Jesus Christ, maybe use your imagination. The show centers around Oshi or Osha, whatever, who cares, in May, I think, or Mai, or I guess the big twist is that they were twins, but really anyone who sees the show will see it for what it is.
That's just lazy writing.
And getting one actress to fill two roles, thus saving some money on the back end. Osha's the good sister, who quit the Jedi Order 6 years ago and had to take a job repairing ships. Anyway, Osha is accompanied by a small droid that helps her fix things. Oh, another Star Wars lead with a droid? Haven't seen that before. Another tired trope of the creatively bankrupt Star Wars writer. In one scene, something breaks on the ship and a fire pops out, and it defies all logic because the flames are working in space. And I'm sure some prog will sit there and go,
the Star Wars films had fire in space before.
Yes, when the Death Star blew up, there was fire in space, but it quickly dissipated. The Jedi Master Zheng-Ji mentions that Oshi's two mothers died, meaning that this character was born from the lesbian cult that worshipped the Force, and the Force is female and it impregnated them. If the leaks are believed to be true, which the way things are going, it probably is. This also makes Anakin's birth completely meaningless, because he was the chosen one, the midichlorian crap, but whatever, Really nothing matters anymore, Star Wars. I'm telling you, dude, Star Wars is getting so retarded that it makes King Cobra look like Carl fucking Sagan.
I'm so good at guitar, it's a wonder I'm not swimming in right now. I'm just saying.
By the way, you could tell the difference between the two sisters because one of them has slightly longer hair. Good work, Disney. May is the evil sister trained in the ways of the Sith. How? Why? And who? You'll have to watch the whole season to find out, maybe. It says season 1, which means they want to do another season, but frankly, after watching 2 episodes, it's really not worth your time. I would not recommend this to you. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I wouldn't touch the show with a 10-foot pole. Anyway, May also succeeds in killing a Jedi with a kunai knife. She must have been really inspired by those episodes of Naruto, like all of us were back in the day. Many of the Star Wars fandom has pointed out that the knife has more killing power than a lightsaber in the recently released Ahsoka TV show. Odds are the blade had to have had some sort of poison on it. That's how they get around explaining the stupidity of the whole situation. But the actress that played the female Jedi that was poisoned really conveyed it with all the passion of a woman looking to pick up her Disney check. Overall, the fight scene reeked of modern Goro boss energy, where you watch a 5'4", probably 100 to 125-pound girl who could throw around 200-pound objects like they were nothing, or 400-pound aliens. Yet whenever a trans athlete enters women's sports, they seem to dominate. Makes you think. I want to point out when Vernestra first appears in Star Wars, she uses the Force to open a door. No Jedi would do this, especially in the Jedi Temple. Obviously, all the doors are automated. We've seen them work on their own in ships, am I right? This was just one of those moments when it was so painfully clear that everyone involved in writing this show has a surface level understanding of Star Wars and Jedis. They just basically figured, Jedis use the Force. And if I was a Jedi, I would use the Force to open doors. Herder. We're going to skip over the bad writing and the clear lack of anyone needing thermal gear on the ice planet to find Orshi or whatever the hell her name was. But there's just one segment that made no sense. Like when the Jedi Master goes, May is dead. I watched her die.
May is dead. I saw her die.
Then 5 minutes later, the other chick is like, May's alive. You have to believe me. And he's like, I believe you.
May is alive.
I believe you.
Expanding, there has to be a creative through line for everything, right?
You know, I think, first of all, the thing that we really aspire to constantly is quality.
Giving a civilian a weapon violates 13 precepts.
OSHA knows how to use one of these.
1 hour later.
What type of writing is this, dude? Like, literally, little kids could do this. Episode 2, May goes to another Jedi temple in a poor part of town, apparently, right? And she's there to kill Master Tobin. She goes to him and says her Sonic the Hedgehog mantra, attack me with all of your might.
Attack me with all your strength.
This works in anime, but in a live-action Star Wars film written by talentless hacks, it just reeks of stupidity. Every time she says it, I want to stab myself with a pen.
Attack me with all your strength.
Well, anyway, Master Tobin's so strong with the godforsaken Force, he can't even be touched. So she's doing little kicks and flips and falling all over the place. Fast forward, we get a load of the body positivity Padawan. Never in my life have I seen a fat Shaolin monk, and never will you. But Leslie Headland lacks the mental wherewithal to be practical. Fat Jedis are as stupid as lesbian witches that worship a female Force and get knocked up by it. Continuing on, later on, May returns to finish the job. In order to defeat him, she uses white guilt, and she will give him forgiveness if he willingly drinks poison.
Right.
And says that he's sorry. Ironically, he looks like your typical white liberal dude, so it was kind of funny to watch. She also recited the tenets of the Sith that peace is a lie, which any Jedi Master would immediately reject.
Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Simple words, yet easily misunderstood.
But at this point, it's clear that this show is more of a Tumblr-level writing experiment than anything else. And the people involved with it have no idea what to do when it comes to writing Star Wars stories.
I think the biggest inspiration for me was Kreia, Darth Treya in Knights of the Old Republic 2. A character that when I first encountered her playing the game, I was really blown away by her characterization as well as the journey that she took the protagonist through. It felt like a type of character that I'd be interested in building a narrative around. So
it's clear Leslie Headland was inspired by KOTOR, but she lacks the creative writing skills and ability of a Chris Avellone to make this series work. If she was such a fan of Knights of the Republic, maybe you should have got Chris Avellone to help you write, rather than some chick who did a Broadway play and knew nothing about Star Wars. But that would take some sort of forward thinking. I'm speed running the rest of this because I've pretty much had it. Judging by how the show is already going, I'd assume that the Jedi actually screwed up 10 years ago with these sisters, and the evil sister is actually the good guy, because that's pretty much how modern prog writers think these days. It's the standard, boring, stupid trope of, what if the good guys were really the villains? What if God was evil and the devil was just a victim? This mindset is so prominent in Western writing now. They call it subversion of expectations. It's given them the freedom to just create media that paints everyone and everything as morally gray. But the whole point of mythos is to inspire people to be better. Hell, Freeborn inspired a dude in Asia to stop someone from being attacked with a knife because he felt that's what Himmel would do. This is the sort of content you need. TV shows that inspire people to be better, not to sit there and go, well, I guess if the Jedis and the Sith are kind of one and the same, it's okay for me to be garbage. You know, like, come on, man. This is why Western media will never beat anime in our lifetimes, if ever. Where The Acolyte feels like your usual show about gender and power dynamics in modern politics with Marxist ideas woven into them, Demon Slayer's new season is just about the story and nothing else. No one's reminding me of what Tanjiro's sexual preferences are. He wants to help as many people as possible. That's the core of his character. That's what I know him for, trying no matter what. It reminded me of camaraderie and the human experience of treasuring a moment in time. Whereas to The Acolyte is incapable of that because Leslie Headland is a bad writer and director. I would say she's worse than Zack Snyder. It's sad to see how so many people now are hoping that Acolyte is a major failure and that it puts Star Wars into a remission and forces Disney to drop Kathleen Kennedy and everyone involved in the new Star Wars, including Dave Filoni. But I'm afraid our prayers will receive no remuneration. Nothing will change and nothing will get fixed for at least another 20 or 30 years. This is the status quo. Until culture changes, our media will not change. And maybe that's a sign of how bad things have really gotten in this country. That now Star Wars, that once inspired hope, is now just another skin suit for a message that's so goddamn repugnant and overly put in your face that you're annoyed by its very existence.